I convinced myself I deserved so much better than my boring, stable husband. 4 months after leaving him for my coworker, I was divorced, dumped, and completely alone. Here's how entitlement destroyed everything I had.
Hey, this is William. I'm not going to pretend I'm some romantic hero or anything, but I thought Nicole and I had it figured out. 8 years married, and we'd built something real, you know? Not like these couples on social media, posting their fake perfect moments every 5 minutes, but actual stability. We own our house outright by 35, both had solid careers, took nice vacations. My buddies from college were going through messy divorces, paying alimony, fighting over custody, the whole nightmare, but Nicole and I just worked. We had our routine down to a science. I'd get up at 6:30, make the coffee, check my emails while she showered. She'd leave first for a marketing job. I'd lock up and head to the office. Evenings were simple. Dinner, maybe some TV, bed by 11. Weekends we'd knock out errands, see my parents or her sister, grab dinner somewhere decent if we felt like being social. It wasn't fireworks and champagne every night, but it was good. It was steady. My dad always told me marriage isn't about the butterflies and all that bullshit. It's about finding someone you can build with. Someone who shows up when they say they will. Nicole was that person for me. We were a team, and teams don't need drama to function. They need trust and consistency. Sure, she'd been quieter lately, but work was killing her with this new client. Some boutique hotel chain that kept changing their mind about everything. I'd pick up extra around the house, give her space when she needed to decompress. That's what you do when you're partners. You adapt, you cover for each other during the rough patches. I figured once this project wrapped up, she'd be back to herself. She'd mentioned feeling stuck a few times, but doesn't everyone feel that way sometimes? Life gets routine, you start wondering about the road not taken, all that. Totally normal. I suggested we finally book that Italy trip we'd been talking about forever, but she just nodded and went back to whatever she was reading. I didn't push it. Nicole's always been independent, likes to work through things on her own time. Sometimes I catch her staring out the kitchen window with this weird expression, like she was somewhere else entirely. When I'd ask what she was thinking about, she'd say nothing or work stuff. I respected that. Not every thought needs to be shared, right? We weren't one of those couples who had to analyze every feeling to death. The thing is, I genuinely thought we were solid. We didn't fight about money or chores, or whose turn it was to visit the in-laws. We'd figure out how to live together without stepping on each other's toes. Isn't that what successful marriage looks like? Isn't that what people spend years in therapy trying to achieve? I guess I was wrong about that. Dead wrong, as it turns out. Looking back now, I can see the signs I missed. The new clothes, the way she started caring about her appearance again, how she'd smile at her phone sometimes. But at the time, I thought maybe she was just feeling better about herself. Maybe the gym membership was paying off. Maybe she'd finally found her groove at work. Why would my mind go to anything darker? We had something good, something real. We were building a life together, brick by brick, the way couples are supposed to. We had plans, maybe kids in a few years, definitely that kitchen renovation, possibly a lake house down the line. We talked about growing old together, about what we'd do when we retired. Normal stuff that normal couples discuss when they're planning a future. I thought she wanted the same things I did. Stability, partnership, a quiet, comfortable life where we took care of each other and built something lasting. I thought we were on the same page about what mattered. Turns out I didn't know her at all. Or maybe I knew who she used to be, but she'd changed into someone else entirely. Someone who needed things I couldn't even understand, let alone provide. Someone who thought she deserved something better than what we had. But how was I supposed to know that? How was I supposed to fix a problem I didn't even know existed?
Hey there, I'm Nicole. I'm 32 years old, and I feel like I'm already dead. Not literally dead, obviously, but like the interesting parts of me died somewhere along the way and nobody bothered to tell me. I wake up every morning in the same house, make the same coffee, take the same route to work, have the same conversations about whether we need groceries or if the water heater is making weird noises again. When did my life become so small? When did I become someone whose biggest excitement is finding a good deal on toilet paper at Costco? I look at William across the breakfast table, scrolling through his phone while eating cereal like he's been doing for the past 3 years, and I think, is this really it? Is this what I signed up for when I said yes to marrying him? A life of pleasant routine and efficient household management. Don't get me wrong, William's a good man. He's never cheated on me, never forgotten an anniversary, never given me any reason to doubt his commitment. He pays the bills on time, fixes things when they break, shows up when he says he will. My mother thinks I hit the jackpot. All her friends' daughters are dating losers or getting divorced, and here I am with a guy who has his shit together. But I feel invisible in my own life. We coexist beautifully. We manage our household like a well-oiled machine. But when's the last time he looked at me like I was someone worth knowing? When's the last time we talked about anything that mattered beyond logistics and schedules and whose turn it is to call the plumber? I deserve more than this, don't I? I know how that sounds. Ungrateful, selfish, like one of those women who sabotage good relationships because they watch too many romantic movies. But I'm smart. I'm still attractive. I have opinions and dreams and desires that go way deeper than what's for dinner tonight. I deserve to feel alive in my own life. I deserve passion. I deserve to be seen as more than just a wife who keeps the household running smoothly. My friend Sarah's married to this guy who still opens car doors for her after 6 years. He brings her flowers just because it's Tuesday. He asks her opinion on current events, on books she's reading, on ideas she has about starting her own business. When they're together at parties, you can literally see how fascinated he is by her. That's what marriage should look like, right? That's what I should have. Then Marcus happened. It started completely innocent. A marketing conference downtown, a conversation over coffee that just kept going. Not small talk, real questions. He listened to my answers like they actually mattered, like I was saying something worth hearing. When I mentioned my art history degree, his whole face changed. He wanted to know about my favorite artists, what periods interested me most, whether I'd ever thought about curating. When's the last time William asked me about anything beyond whether I'd picked up his dry cleaning? The coffee meetings became a regular thing. Marcus would text me articles about marketing trends, about gallery openings, about anything that reminded him of our conversations. He remembered everything. That I preferred documentary films to blockbusters, that I'd lived in Portland before moving here, that I was considering going back for my MBA. He made me feel interesting again. Smart. Worth paying attention to. You're wasted in this market, he told me last week. Someone with your vision should be working with major brands in Chicago or New York. He sees my potential. He sees me, the real me, not just the version of myself I've become living with William. I've started putting effort into my appearance again. New dresses, better makeup, actually doing something with my hair instead of just pulling it back in a ponytail every day. William hasn't noticed. He's too busy with his spreadsheets and quarterly reports. But Marcus definitely has. You look incredible, he said yesterday, and I felt that flutter in my stomach I'd forgotten was possible. I deserve to feel beautiful. I deserve to feel wanted, appreciated, seen for who I really am instead of just what I do around the house. William comes home every night and tells me about budget meetings and client calls. Marcus asks about my dreams, my ambitions, the person I want to become. He makes me remember that I used to have big plans for myself, that I didn't always want such a small, quiet life. I'm not saying I'm going to do anything crazy. I'm not that kind of person. But for the first time in years, I feel awake. I feel like maybe there's more out there for me than settling for good enough, for stable and comfortable and utterly predictable. I deserve better than that, don't I? I deserve to feel cherished, desired, like I'm the most fascinating person in someone's world. William's a good man, but he's not my person. Not anymore. Maybe he never was, and I was just too young to know the difference between love and compatibility. I deserve real love. I deserve everything.
She asked for a divorce on a Tuesday. Just like that, out of nowhere, while I'm loading the dishwasher after dinner. We're standing in our kitchen, the same kitchen where we've planned vacations and argued about paint colors and celebrated promotions, and she's telling me our marriage is over. I don't want to be married anymore, she says, like she's telling me she's switching grocery stores. I actually laugh at first because it's so absurd. We just had dinner together, talked about her day, made plans for the weekend. We're fine. We're good. We never even fight about anything important. What the hell is she talking about? But she's not joking. She's wearing some dress I've never seen before. Her hair's different, and she's looking at me like I'm a stranger she's trying to let down easy. Is there someone else? I ask, because what else could explain this complete left turn? The pause before she answers tells me everything I need to know. It's not about someone else, she says. It's about us. About what we don't have. But there is someone else. I can see it in how she's standing, the way she won't look directly at me when she talks. Someone's been filling her head with ideas about what she deserves, what she's missing out on, how much better her life could be. Over the next few days, I drag the truth out of her piece by piece. Marcus from work. Coffee meetings that turn into something more. Nothing physical happened. She keeps insisting, like that's supposed to make me feel better. Like the fact that she gave her heart to another man while I was going about our life, thinking everything was normal, somehow hurts less. 3 months. 3 months of her coming home to me every night, sitting across from me at dinner, lying next to me in bed, all while thinking about him. 3 months of me living in a marriage that was already over without anyone bothering to tell me. I try to understand what I did wrong. Was I not romantic enough? Did I stop paying attention to her somewhere along the way? Should I have brought home flowers more often, planned surprise trips, written love letters like we were still teenagers? But the more she talks, the more I realize this isn't about anything I did or didn't do. This is about her deciding she deserves something different, something more exciting, something that makes her feel special and desired, and whatever else Marcus has been telling her she should feel. You're a good man, William, she says. You deserve someone who appreciates what you offer. What I offer. Like I'm a service provider, she's firing for not meeting her expectations. The worst part is how calm she is about the whole thing. She's already mentally moved on, already planning her new life without me. She talks about splitting assets and finding an apartment like she's discussing weekend plans. She's been thinking about this for months while I've been completely clueless, and now I'm supposed to just accept it and move on? Our friends don't know what to say. Half of them saw it coming, apparently, which is news to me. The other half are shocked because we always seemed so stable, so together. My parents are devastated. Her parents are confused, but supportive because that's what parents do when their daughter blows up her life for reasons nobody understands. We built something real together. We have a house, a life, 8 years of shared history. We were planning to start trying for kids next year. We had dreams, plans, a future mapped out together. But she's already gone. She moves out 3 weeks later, takes half our stuff, and starts her new life like our marriage was just something she tried that didn't work out. And Marcus? The great love affair that was worth destroying our marriage for? It lasts exactly 4 months before he decides he's not ready for anything serious. Apparently, the excitement of pursuing a married woman wore off once she was actually available. She doesn't come crawling back, though. She gets an apartment across town, starts dating other guys, posts pictures on social media of herself looking happy and free and like she's living her best life. Maybe she is. Maybe leaving me was the best decision she ever made. But I still don't understand what was so wrong with what we had that it wasn't worth fighting for. I still don't understand why good and stable and reliable wasn't enough. I guess some people just need more drama in their lives. Some people think they deserve fireworks every day instead of just solid partnership and mutual respect. I'm going to try to figure out what I could have done differently. I gave her 8 years of my life, my complete loyalty, and my best effort at building something lasting. If that wasn't good enough for her, then maybe we weren't as compatible as I thought. Maybe she's right. Maybe we both deserve something different.
I've been divorced for 6 months now, and I still wake up some mornings expecting to see William's side of the bed occupied. Not because I miss him, exactly, but because old habits die hard. 8 years of marriage doesn't just disappear overnight, even when you're the one who chose to end it. Sometimes I catch myself buying 2 of everything at the grocery store, or making enough coffee for 2 people, or reaching for my phone to text him about something funny I saw before remembering we don't do that anymore. The apartment I'm renting is tiny compared to our house, but it's mine. I painted the walls colors William would have hated, bought furniture that's more style than practicality, hung up art that actually means something to me instead of just matching the couch. For the first time in years, my living space reflects who I am, not who we were as a couple. Marcus and I lasted 4 months after I left William. Turns out the man who seemed so fascinated by my mind and my potential wasn't quite as interested once I was actually available. The intense conversations and romantic attention that felt so meaningful when I was married suddenly felt different when I was free to have them anytime I wanted. He started canceling plans, taking longer to respond to texts, mentioning how he wasn't sure he was ready for anything serious. I wasn't completely surprised when he ended things. Part of me knew the whole time that what we had was more about the fantasy than the reality. He was attracted to the idea of rescuing me from my boring marriage, not to building an actual relationship with me. And I was attracted to feeling desired and special, not necessarily to him as a person. Still, when he called it off, I felt like an idiot. I'd blown up my entire life for a guy who couldn't even last 6 months with me. I'd thrown away 8 years of stability for what turned out to be a midlife crisis in disguise. But here's the thing, I'm not sorry. Was Marcus worth leaving William for? Absolutely not. But leaving William wasn't really about Marcus. It was about finally admitting that I'd been slowly suffocating in a life that looked perfect on paper but felt empty in reality. I'm dating again, sort of. Nothing serious, just coffee dates and dinners with men I meet through work or friends or dating apps. It's weird being single at 32, navigating conversations about past relationships and what I'm looking for and whether I want kids. Most guys my age are either freshly divorced with a lot of baggage or confirmed bachelors who panic at the mention of commitment. But I'm learning things about myself I never knew. Like how much I enjoy living alone, making decisions without consulting anyone, staying up late reading without worrying about waking someone up. I'm taking art classes again, something I gave up years ago because William thought it was a waste of time. I'm considering that MBA I used to talk about. I'm remembering who I was before I became half of a couple. My mother thinks I've lost my mind. She loved William, thought he was a perfect son-in-law, and can't understand why I'd give up such a good man for uncertainty. What if you don't find anyone else? She asks. What if you end up alone? Maybe I will end up alone. Maybe this whole thing was a huge mistake, and I'll spend the rest of my life regretting the stable, comfortable marriage I walked away from. Maybe William was the best I was ever going to do, and I was too stupid to appreciate what I had. But I'd rather be alone and awake than partnered and numb. I'd rather take the risk of ending up by myself than spend the next 40 years sleepwalking through a life that feels too small for who I want to be. I deserve to feel alive in my own life. I deserve passion and excitement and someone who sees me as fascinating instead of just convenient. Maybe that's unrealistic at my age. Maybe I'm chasing something that doesn't exist outside of movies and romance novels. But I have to try. William's doing fine from what I hear. He's dating someone new, a teacher named Sarah who apparently thinks he's wonderful exactly as he is. Good for him. He deserves someone who appreciates what he offers, someone who wants the same quiet, stable life he wants. We were just incompatible, and it took me too long to admit it. I don't regret leaving him. I regret how I did it, the timing, the way I let another man be the catalyst instead of having the courage to face our problems directly. But I don't regret choosing uncertainty over settling. I don't regret betting on myself instead of playing it safe. I deserve better than good enough. Maybe that makes me selfish or unrealistic or destined for disappointment. But at least I'm awake now. At least I'm trying. And if I crash and burn, well, at least it'll be my crash, my choice, my life to rebuild however I want. That has to count for something, right?